Human or robot, investigating voice, appearance, and gesture motion realism of conversational social agents. Our aim is to understand the perceptual impacts of different combinations of speech and gesture channels. Using stimuli created from real motion capture data, we investigate the perceptual effects of motion and speech using two avatars: a human avatar and a robot avatar. Our motion stimuli consists of four conditions. First, we have our full natural condition, which uses full body motion capture to animate the virtual character.
So we ran out onto the road, we were like stopping cars, we were like trying to get people's attention because there was barely any cars passing by, but every time a car passed, we'd be like just like stop, 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 stop.
Following this, we have our natural idle condition, which uses motion capture for the arms and hands with idle body motion for the remainder of the body.
So we ran out onto the road, we were like stopping cars, we were like trying to get people's attention because there was barely any cars passing by, but every time a car passed, we'd be like just like stop, 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 stop.
Following this, we have our robotic gestures condition, which uses a combination of motion capture for the gesture stroke phase with synthesized transitions for the arms and hands, plus idle body motion for the remainder of the body.
So we ran out onto the road, we were like stopping cars, we were like trying to get people's attention because there was barely any cars passing by, but every time a car passed, we'd be like just like stop, 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 stop.
And lastly, we have our robotic reduced condition, which is the same as the previous condition, but every other gesture stroke is removed, so that the overall gesture rate is reduced by 50%.
So we ran out onto the road, we were like stopping cars, we were like trying to get people's attention because there was barely any cars passing by, but every time a car passed, we'd be like just like stop, 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 stop. I said, all right, I need to get the traveling out of the way. So luckily for me, when I was in secondary school playing rugby and stuff like that, I went to Australia and New Zealand. We went on like a rugby tour because...
In addition to our motion conditions, we have two voice conditions. Our first voice condition is a real voice recording captured alongside the motion capture performance.
But then once 6 o'clock, about 6 or 7 hit, and then we got a bit of sleep, we were actually fine.
Our second voice condition is a text-to-speech version of the real voice recording.
But then after 6 o'clock, 6 or 7 hit, and then we got a bit of sleep, we were actually fine.
The real and TTS voices were aligned using a combination of SSML markup and manual alignment.
But then after
6 o'clock,
about
6 or 7 hit, and then we got a bit of sleep, we were actually fine.
The following are some samples of our stimuli.
So like my brother went back, and my friends who I go with, their brothers and sisters went back, and every Snapchat we got was just basically them eating hot dogs because they're just, oh my god, so special. And then actually finally as well, Codaline, they're an Irish band. Last thing I'll say about this, Codaline are an Irish band. They're very, very good live. They were in the same tent as Jess Glynn. The whole tent was pretty much, like there was thousands of people there.
But then after 6 o'clock, 6 or 7 hit, and then we got a bit of sleep, we were actually fine. Which was good, because I didn't want to be sick for the remaining days. But then that's when I found vegan love, and that was the only food that I could eat while I was sick.
So another passion of mine would be traveling myself as well. So I absolutely adore traveling, and I've been luckily enough throughout my college years that I've done a fair amount of traveling. So I knew if I was going to do something after college, I needed to get the traveling out of my system now.
For participants of Study 1, the Likert scale represented the sufficiency of a speech-gesture match. For participants of Study 2, the Likert scale represented the degree of pleasantness and human likeness. Our participants were shown an assortment of clips in random order from a variety of conditions. Each participant will observe every condition throughout the experiment and will then be asked to rate these clips according to the question of the study. The experiment runs in a WebGL player, and after each clip is shown, participants are asked either how appropriate were the gestures for the speech, or asked to rate the pleasantness and human likeness. Please see our paper for more details and results.